Hey Scripps Ranch, it's Felicity Hunter with Homes by Felicity. I am sitting here in my office right by New Vaughn's next to Happy Nails and HS Salon with my team, and we did caravan this morning here in Scripps Ranch, so I just wanted to give you a little market update and let you know how we're doing. Last week I was on live and told you that we had 0 houses to go look at. This week we had 6, which is definitely an improvement. We want to see more and more houses coming on the market right now. We have quite an interested buyer pool, and we really want to see more houses coming so that we have a lot more to offer our clients. So if you're thinking about selling, now is still a great time. Scripps Ranch inventory is incredibly low. Our prices are great. So if you're thinking about selling, it's definitely a great time to still hop on the market before we get into the summer months. If you need anything, you can always reach out to us, but just make sure it's always a local expert that you reach out to here in Scripps Ranch. We tend to sell for a lot more and quickly. So always a good tip to have for sellers. And then we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes buyers make. And the number one biggest mistake buyers make in this market, please listen up if you're a buyer, if you know anyone about to buy, do not use one of the big box discounters. It sounds like such a great idea. You're going to get a couple $1,000s back to help with your closing costs, but let me tell you, as a listing agent, when those, if it rhymes with head spin, shows up at my listing, number one, they won't be my favorite offer to go to when I'm talking to a seller. I know what I'm getting with those agents. They are not local experts. They are very difficult to get a hold of. They don't follow through, and they will disappear after a transaction. So if I have equal offers, I definitely voice my experience with head spin to my clients, and we typically go with another offer from a stronger agent who I know is ethical, going to do a great job, and we're going to have follow through the whole way through the transaction. It also tends to happen that they don't really understand the market because they work all over the place. They're kind of like, going to Walmart instead of Nordstrom, only they're going to spend your money like they don't care. So they're going to just tell you to write whatever, and over we see buyers in this market drastically overpay when they go with discount brokers because they don't care, they're not invested, they're not really looking after your best interests. So we see them say, yeah, write this, and great, you got the house, only you paid $20,000 too much. So the $3,000 you got for closing costs really cost you $20,000. When you are looking for advice on the biggest asset you're ever gonna buy, a local expert is the only way to go. You need that market knowledge, you need the networking, you really need a professional that's got your back, that will make sure that your family's long-term gain is more important than the cut that person's making right here to make a sale. So that's my biggest mistake that buyers in this market make, and that I think that, at least in Scripps Ranch where I sell, we've got a very educated buyer and seller pool, so we don't see it a lot here with our actual Scripps Ranch people, but we see outside people coming in here trying to work with those discounters to save a little bit, but it winds up costing them so much at the end. So remember, if it rhymes with head spin, it's probably not a good idea. Number 3, I have a great buyer story for you guys. I have some fantastic buyers right now. They are both Qualcomm engineers. We had found a house that they really liked in Scripps Ranch. We wrote an offer. It was a very competitive thing, and there was a solar lease on the home, and my clients were not a huge fan of solar leases, but they weren't sure that they wanted to give up the house just for that reason. So we kind of went back and forth, and we wound up not getting that house. And I reassured them, like, we're going to find a great house where you don't have to make a compromise. So don't be upset we lost that one. And lo and behold, we find a better house a couple weeks later. Amazing house that checked all their boxes that they're much more excited about than that first one. And the same day that our offer was accepted, Qualcomm settled a lawsuit with Apple. And their stock that they were using to buy the house, if we had gotten that first house, would have been at a certain level. It went up 42% because of those 3 weeks it took us to find the next house. So you never know, and I tell you this, that every time I have a buyer, if we don't get that first house, we always find a better one. So never lose hope, and that's just a little inspiration for your buying day today if you're out looking at houses. If you ever need anything, give me a call, message me. I'm always here to answer questions. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.